Okay, we'll be with you shortly. Let a few people show up on here. I just got basically settled in. We just got off the ferry not too long ago, just putting some stuff away. But I was listening to Michael Fazio's show. I got a few things to say about several people on here. Now, I just did a rather long upload while I was on the ferry, talking about this and that and that and this. So hopefully you get to listen to that too, besides my live show. I couldn't do live, not on my phone. I can't do that when I'm actually there doing anything live. So everything I did was recordings, and you see, I had a lot more. I didn't bother to put them on. Some of it was personal stuff that I didn't feel needed to be uploaded and so forth and so on. And so yeah, I was. Which a few more people gather up here. I was listening. I was listening to Michael Fazio's show. A couple things to say on that in regards to him and Al. The first thing I have to say is that number one, I warned Michael a lot of times. He's so proud about his alliance with Aloe, who's a nameless, faceless coward, and historically has always been a nameless, faceless coward. And he gets him and his cronies to say things about me. Well, gee, Frank, you've talked about other people's women and all that. What is he doing? He didn't have to bring Gilda into this at all. That was threatening to me. I guarantee you, if you weren't a nameless, faceless coward, you came up in front of me and you pulled that kind of shit on me, believe me, I'd cold cock you. And I would take every fucking picture frame by frame of you going down and the fucking blood on your fucking face. Because you have gone down on a lot of people, Aloe. It's all you do is come on here and cause controversy. You have corrupted a lot of people on here because you think it's entertainment, because you think it's fun. Well, some things are not fun and it's not entertainment. Now, number one, to give Michael Fazio some credit, where he stood up a little bit anyway, at least for Gilda. The fact is that he said that, you know, he had no right to bring in any women in, especially, the hypocrisy with this guy, Aloe. Arthur Yellow, you know what? I don't have time for you. We have different rules on this show. You even say something slight derogatory, you're off my show. I don't give a fucking shit. Okay. Fazio is right on that. Okay. Aloe had no right to even bring up my woman's name. And he says so many things on his show. He's going to fuck kids up the ass and everything else. And him and his fucking cronies to talk about me and other people on here. Oh, what did you say about this or that? No, no, we're not all innocent on here. But if you have to grade this, okay, with a degree of how often or how soft or hard a comment I may have made compared to what you have done historically on your shows, Aloe, I think you're a sick fuck. I've always thought you were a sick fuck, and you always will be a sick fuck. And if you're really married, I'm sure your wife, unless she's as fucked up as you are, and I don't know your wife, and I'm not putting her down like you do. I'm just saying that I think something's wrong here, and I think that, if she allows you to do the things you're doing, I'm kind of doubting that because I think you're one of these guys, you're one of these bottom feeders that hide in a basement in the dark with lit candles and think of how you could fuck people over to make yourself feel good. Because whatever you do for a living and whatever you do for your life, who cares what the fuck your name is? You're a piece of shit. That's the bottom line. You've never talked good about anybody. You try to put shows together on here to attack other people, but you have the gonyoles to do shows with Popeye and everybody and talk how bad everybody is. Philly in the Philippines, me, this person, that person. I can't name all the people that you've attacked in over 7.5 years on here. It'd be impossible to do that. So Michael is right about that. I'll give him that credit. Maybe Michael will talk about the case today or something with Ricky. Maybe he will. Sounds like he's got a sore throat from what I don't know. But yeah, I was listening to this shit, before I even got off the ferry, and I heard, look, I heard what Alice said on that show. Fazio did not have to present that clip. I actually heard that. I think while I was still in Cebu. Yeah, I think while I was still in Cebu. Yeah, sometime I heard that anyway. And, I laughed it off. But I figured this is a nameless, faceless coward, is what he is. Because if he wasn't a coward, he wouldn't be afraid to show his face. he wouldn't be afraid to go on camera. Okay, he wouldn't be afraid to do all that shit. Okay, anybody who idolizes this piece of shit is just as bad as he is. These are examples of the sick people I talk about on here, and you know the names, you know who they are. But I guarantee you, the tough talk. And by the way, Aloe delegates his dirty work to other people. He's a coward. That's why. I bet he had his ass kicked so many times in his personal life it ain't funny. And it is his way of getting back at the world. Like I've explained this psychology to you guys so many times before. You probably were bullied growing up, the whole bit. The whole ball of wax probably applies to this jerk off. He's a nameless, faceless coward who wants to bestow hurt upon other people. Some of them deserve it to a certain degree, and some people don't deserve it. Now, the reason he'll bring up, like, my girlfriend is because he tried everything in the world to get a reaction from me for something. He tried everything he could possibly do to get me thrown off YouTube. He's tried everything in the world he possibly do is to try to get together a bunch of people to go put in reports on me and everything else. Because he doesn't do this himself because he's a coward. He doesn't want to get his hands dirty, not after that manicure. He doesn't want to get his hands dirty. But he does a great job of getting other people to do his dirty work, and they fall for that all the time. Whether it's Popeye, all these people, you name his cast of stars, they all do his dirty work. And they don't realize that they get the black eye from the shit they do, but Aloe does not. Okay. So Fazio is right about that. However, Fazio has made innuendos about my girlfriend in the past. I'm not going to try to recall all of them. So he's talking from two sides of his mouth, and because he's done things. Okay, but he's done down and dirty things as Alois did. All that shit with my tenants? Yeah, right. We're going to have a good show today. We're going to talk about a few things. Yeah, and, the things he did with my tenants and still does, guys, if you knew all the details of everything and how he's behind flyers being put in the community telling people I'm a fucking sexual predator. I mean, the things he done, the videos he provided for my tenants, this thing went on for a couple of years. So when I say so, Fazio is not innocent. He's not innocent in any form or way. Okay? I was trying to be nice to the guy for a while. If you let him alone, leave him alone, and I'm still going to leave him alone. I have a certain amount of compassion for people, and I know that he's not really healthy, and I know he's not going to live a long time. So the way I look at this, all the foul stuff he said about me or mine or whatever, and all the shit that he did with my tenants, trying to find harm to me, trying to get me in trouble with them. The judge, he laughed it off what Aloe did, talking, as if he was me on the Zoom session. The evil bastard was just laughing away. You know what? I do believe in karma, motherfucker. I do believe in karma. It's real. I think it's happening to you right now. I think it's going to continue to happen to you. And all the diet in the world is not going to help you. Stop your fucking storytelling all the time. People are getting fucking bored of it. As much as they're getting bored with Aloe's bullshit and keeping his hands clean and telling everybody what they're doing wrong, but he doesn't do anything wrong at all. He don't want to get his hands dirty. So he'll delegate this to everybody, to Don C, to Popeye, and Roberto, and the rest of the sick fucking gang that probably really don't have as much good a life as they claim that they do have. Now, I'm sorry, guys, if I'm living a better life than some of yous, and I have a better relationship than some of yous, hey, man, that's not a bad thing for me. But if you have a problem with that, you have a problem how much money I make, whether my relationship is good or bad. I just did an upload on this. If it ain't on there already, please go and see it after the show. It might be still uploading. And I talked about this. I was on a ferry coming back. So make it a double whammy today. You got my live show, and you can see my last show that's probably still uploading. Okay, so a lot of people open their mouth on here, and they feel freely to talk about everybody else on here. But look at their lives. I mean, we know what it's like. We got a good idea what's going on with them without even knowing them personally. Brevis is fucked up, right? How could he say something in front of his girl that's pregnant at the time? The best pussy is new pussy, and hang around in fucking go-go bars. He's just got a shiner. Somebody I don't know what they did with him, but he got into a fight. And, when that's your character, this is what happens to you when this is your character. You're going to find trouble, it'll find you. You come to a fucking country. Some of you guys that live out here in the Philippines, you come here for what? Well, obviously, you come here to get laid because you couldn't do it in your country. That's pretty obvious. Okay, you thought you're going to make it big. You're going to be a big man on campus over here, but that didn't happen to everybody. You come here because the booze is fucking cheap, all right? And you think the women are easy, but they're not all easy. You're supposed to be talking about the Philippines instead of, praising the Philippines. All I hear, a lot of negative. There's some things that I don't like about certain things, the culture, certain things, like all of us. But some people just spend their time just knocking the Philippines, knocking Filipinos, saying that they're all easy and they're all fucking whores. They're not all easy. They're not all fucking whores. Why did you come here? Why are you planning to come here? Stay where the fuck you are. I'm sure I speak collectively for a lot of people on here. Okay. Sorry I haven't been reading the comments on here. But, Fazio's not winning no points with me. Thank you for defending my girlfriend, because what you said was absolutely correct. That's absolutely correct. Aloe has no rhyme and reason to talk about, because this is what he says about everybody else. Oh, yeah. You talk about, you got to understand, you got to talk about all these other women. You talk about, what the fuck do you do? Weisenheimer, Oppenheimer, whatever your fucking name is, you're German, whatever the fuck you, Sloppenheimer. You're fucked in the head, Al. You're totally fucked in the head. I don't think it's entertainment. You do it too often for how many years? It becomes part of your personality if you never were that way before. I think that's your personality. I think that's who you are. I think you are a sick bastard, a sick fucking bastard. If you are in a relationship, I really feel bad. I really feel bad about the person that's in your life. And I feel bad also if this person does not see that part of your personality. I hope that she walks in on you someday, catches the things you said, and gives you a hard fucking time and divorces your fucking ass if you happen to be married. Now, I look at it this way. I do come on camera, but I think anybody who just doesn't come on camera at all has something to hide. Okay? And they're basically cowards. That's what they are. They're fucking cowards. They're nameless, faceless cowards. And Aloe is a nameless, faceless coward. He depends on losers like Popeye and that gang to back him up on everything. See, you got to kiss up to Aloe's ass because everybody thinks Aloe is the big dog. So he's the dominating one. Okay, he's the alpha dog in some people's minds on here because they set themselves to think that way. Oh, God forbid you get into Aloe's space, he's going to come down on you. I was never intimidated by that motherfucker, ever. 7.5 years. He never intimidated me. He said everything in the world about me to everybody else, called me every name in the book, labeled me everything. I still don't give a fuck. I would love to see him come in front of me and introduce himself to who the fuck he is. I would love to see him come out of the dark and introduce himself, put him on camera for the world to see. Get him on camera and see what an ugly bastard he probably really is. And maybe that's the why. Probably he's a fat bastard too, or too skinny for his own good. Yeah, he's got something to hide. He's definitely got something to hide. Probably what he looks like, and probably a lot more behind this guy, why he doesn't come on camera. Okay, he wants to be elusive, fine. But you know what? There's always some day that people find out something about you. You'd be surprised what hackers can do. They can locate who the fuck you are down to the fucking pimple on your fucking ass. People don't expect that to happen, but don't be surprised if that could happen, will happen, or won't happen. As far as that goes. Yeah. Al went off on Brian Jurgens today. He goes off on everybody. And Fazio, he has no right. Look, the shit that this guy has done. Now, I don't know what happened with the Ricky case, and either way, they're both guilty. I really don't give a shit if Fazio managed to get he's going to wind up getting a few bucks from Ricky, and I ain't going to mind if Ricky gets away with it. Either one, they're both guilty. They're both fucked up. They're both criminals. They're both sick bastards. They all are. They know who they are by demonstration. Disclaimer. Okay? If they are, they are. Nothing illegal to say about that and their character. Okay, you got one guy who tells fucking stories for 8 fucking years. None of them are true. Okay? He doesn't know what to fucking do with himself. Walk around his fucking yard, painted things yellow, just moving one thing on the side of the yard, fixing up his termite house. The floors are caving in, the ceiling's caving in, the walls are caving in. He's falling off ladders. He's tripping. And plus he's tripping in his mind. All these people say, oh, yeah, Frank's on meds. No, maybe some of you guys should be on fucking meds, or maybe you're not taking your meds, one or the other. Maybe you need to take meds. But I love the way these people dish out this crap. They're no better than any of the fucking trolls that they talk about on here. In fact, they're probably worse. And yeah, no reason to bring somebody's girlfriend in. Okay, now I've never mentioned names. It was very rare. If I was talking or making innuendos about some chick's name, okay, or some guy's girlfriend or wife or something, I have never you ever noticed that? I've never used their name. I never used their name to avoid embarrassment for that woman. Okay, very rare. If I even did that, maybe once or twice, I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't remember as a rule and as a habit and as a pattern. If I was in a pissed off mood, and everybody gets in a pissed off mood on here, yeah, I've said a few things, but I don't come on a daily basis and do this kind of shit. And I try to do other topics. I try to intermix a little bit of drama that everybody wants to hear and with some good topics. I do that. Everybody knows me for that. And it takes me to be really pissed off to say something that I would regret saying later on. And I've even apologized for the things I've said in the past because I don't want to compare myself to be in the same league as these losers on here, okay? I don't want to be that. There's no way in the world. Because, you see, I got things that I've done for myself, the old ducks in a row thing, and a lot of people don't. It just comes down to envy and jealousy. Everybody down the line that's ever given me shit on here is because they can't live the life I live. They can't have a good, solid woman like I have that's lasting a long time. They probably don't have a house, can't afford to buy a house, okay? They probably don't make the income I make on here. And I don't tell you my income. You know I make Social Security, but you don't know the household income around here. And everybody says I'm broke, I'm broke, I'm broke. It's just wishful thinking. What are you making? Yeah, why don't you tell us what you're making? Yeah, it works both ways. The fact is they hate that I'm happy. They hate that I'm in a good relationship. They hate that I got my so-called ducks in a row. They hate it because everything is reflecting on themselves and what they lack in their life. So that's why I take this shit like, it's like an everyday thing, I hardly even been gone to the, I think I went, last night I went to the Copycat channel and I haven't been on there. I haven't even read it. It's irrelevant to me. Everybody talks about the same shit. Frank's broke or don't have this or don't have that. They're talking about the fucking square. You see my last video, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I got an upload you can listen to on there. I think it's uploading now. If it didn't come out already. They're over there. That's how much time they have on their hands. They're going on Google Maps trying to find my house, trying to measure the square fucking footage of my fucking house. You got that much fucking time on your hands? I mean, seriously? Jesus. I think they did meet in court today. That's what I was mentioning. I don't know what happened with that. I don't know. Michael must have been yelling because the last show I was at this morning, I didn't even hear the rest of it. I just heard his beginning part. He didn't like what Aloe said about Gilda and other women. He has a sore throat, so if he did go to court, he's probably yelling at the court. That's what he does. He yells at everybody. We went to the MBI. He was yelling at the MBI people about me. When he went to this police thing with Ricky initially, he was over there mouthing off. They told him they're going to put him in contempt if he didn't shut up. I mean, he doesn't shut his mouth. And his mouth could run 6 to 8 fucking hours a day. 6 to 8 fucking hours a day. 6 to 8 fucking hours a day. And that's just on YouTube. Then he gets off YouTube, and who's he talking to on the phone? Scott Del Fuego or Jack Thompson or whoever he wants to talk to him on the phone. I tried to explain to Fazio, and he doesn't understand. Every time he thinks that Aloe is an ally of his, I warned him. Aloe is not an ally of his. You say the slightest shit about Aloe, he's going to jump on your ass. Aloe uses you, Fozzie. When are you going to fucking wake up? The same as fucking Barry. That Ricky was using the shit out of Barry to make money. But Barry's so hillbilly stupid, he didn't understand what was going on. He had no clue what was going on. Ricky was making fun of him while he was in jail and collecting money off him. You people are too gullible. You're too naive, and you always get burnt. You always get burnt. You go to trust in somebody on here, and the trust is busted. Remember, these people are not your friends. These are people looking for the drama. That's all they live for is drama. Who's going to fight with who? Who's going to say who about what? That's all it is. Most of these people, they could even have married and girlfriends and shit. And I don't know what's going on in their lives. I have no idea what's going on in their lives. Why they just spend their time bitching and whining about everything they hear on YouTube. Worry about your own life, your own relationship, your own finances, and maybe you'll make your relation better if you go on YouTube and shit. I do, but have some time off YouTube. You can relate with your family, watch TV, whatever you need to do things together. YouTube should not be your whole fucking life. It's just a hobby to me, man. That's all it is. Just a fucking hobby. It's some of you, it's your whole fucking life, man. Sorry, I've been reading the comments here. You know, uh, Heidel says Frank owns a home, has had a woman, and only speaks the truth. Yeah, Heidel. You're back and forth too, Billy Sweetie, you drive Sex Pet Hunter says, didn't Ricky and Fazio meet in court today? I guess supposed to be today. Heidel says, we appreciate Frank's style, blah, blah, blah. True Flatbush guy, whatever the fuck. Philippines Guru says, wish I had those sound clips where he threatens people's grandkids. Oh man, you got to see the things that Al said about people. He did that because he's a nameless, faceless troll. I guarantee you 500%. If he was on camera and people knew where he fucking lived, he would never be talking that way. Sexpert Hunter says Fazio's mental health issues are getting worse. And yes, I have noticed that. And I don't mean to jump on you, Michael, but it happens to be real. We've been following you. We've all been following you a long time. And maybe you don't realize it about yourself, man. But I think ever since Daisy kind of got out of your life and you found out she was with another man and all that shit, and then the court thing with you and me when you didn't get your way with the NBI and they dismissed you were pissed from that point. But then when Daisy kind of left the scene and all that, you really went berserk, Michael. I'm being serious here. You really went berserk. And maybe you don't realize it, but we, we're objective. We see, okay, we're second, third person. We see what you're doing, what you're saying, and everything else on here, man. And Popeye, these are just fucking losers, man. All he talks about is this fucking sailor days. That's all that was ever important in his life. I understand. I mean, maybe they're the good old days for him. This gives him something to talk about. He's getting old. He doesn't got nothing going on. He's living at his daughter's house. He's smoking them camels and drinking his fucking vodka, kissing Aloe's ass. Because don't forget, those guys have bit each other's throat in the past. Well, you think Aloe hasn't been on the bad side of Popeye hasn't been on the bad side of Aloe in the past, or Roberto, or any of these characters on there. They all have. They've all been at each other's throats, man. Every one of them. They're like rainy day friends, is what it is. And Popeye just sits there like an old fucking man. I think I'm slightly older than him, perhaps same age. Fucking going to bingo, and everything else about him, his lifestyle. He sits there, talks about the fuck eating the corn out of his shit. That gets so fucking old. And the San Miguel little jingle he does, it's so fucking old. I don't know what's older, his fucking little jingles or him. I don't know which is older. We get sick and tired of hearing the same old rhetoric on here. Yeah, shows about me, shows about this person. It's old hat. It's old hat. You're not going to change my life. Listen to my last video. I said it good on the ferry. I don't want to be redundant. Why don't I just let you listen to that last video? If it's uploaded or not, I'll check on it. But, you can call each other names. You're all hiding behind the fucking computer. And you're not going to do anything to anybody out here. You're not, because it would be a very dangerous situation. Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this and that to you, kick your ass, this and that. Not in the Philippines, you're not, man. Not if you value your freedom. Not if you value your fucking life. That ain't going to happen. And you don't know who's connected or how connected they are. You might say the person is full of shit, but maybe they're not full of shit. You could try all the bullshit you want on here with me. We know everybody in town. We know the businesses. We're friendly with the mayor's family. We know all the police. We know the barangay people. We know people that work for the barangay. People work for the municipality. We're very well connected on this island after 7.5 years, whatever it's been. I told you I don't count. Believe me, we have a lot of contacts, and we know a lot of people, and we got a lot of people that would back us up, and we're not worried about shit like that. And some of the very people who threaten me are the ones that actually have fucking police records right here in Santa Fe. Yeah, blow your nose the wrong way in Santa Fe, you'll get fucking picked up. And we'll look at that as a threat, or you're stalking, or whatever you're doing. Don't think twice about me not going to do what I say that I will do. I have already, and I proved myself right. Where's that fucking worthless piece of bald-headed, tattooed Filipino abuser? He's in fucking jail, and that's where he's going to fucking stay. And that's where anybody else will wind up if they ever pushed it that far with me. I think you believe me at this point. I made a believer out of some people who are non-believers. Believe me, it just goes on from there. And who's to say that I don't have anything else going on? I had a little visit with my lawyer yesterday, okay? Yes, I was in Cebu for 3 days. I accomplished quite a bit like I normally do. I've showed you some paperwork, which is very valid arrest warrant, okay? I've done everything I needed to do or did not need to have to do. But because I am a righteous person, because I will prove something rather than say a bunch of fucking words on here that are worthless with no backup about somebody or their character or what they put on their show, it's easy to say this person did that and this person did that. Well, did they or did they not? Okay, is it hearsay? Is this just being hate? Or digging at the bottom of the proverbial barrel to find what dirt you can on somebody? That's sick. And anybody who does that is sick. Okay, there we are. Let's see. Gray One is a scary man. He was a founder of the Philippines, John. I don't know who Gray Man. I don't know who you refer to as Gray Man. You know, Popeye and Alan Fry are scared of the Gray One. What's up with that? And as far as whoever's running the Expat Trash channel, it really don't matter to me. I have my idea who's running it, but don't matter. Right or wrong, who it is it might be or not. Okay, if they follow a format, like unlike Allo and people of his nature, and we got Simulacron, we got fucking all the ass kissers every on there. Don C, which is Don Cunt, that's all he is. Pennsylvania Trucker, fucking Roberto Dunn, Popeye, Robert, all these assholes, all these asswipes, which are total fucking losers that have the audacity to talk about other people and call them losers because something is wrong with their fucking life and they have to lash out from their misery. We all see this by now. If you don't see this by now, you never will. Oh, yeah, all these crimes I commit. I'm over there, right? I'm going to be running after children, right? Come on, get fucking real. Okay, but it sounds good on paper, right? Sounds good to put on here. Yeah, I had a civil case in Hawaii, had nothing to do with a criminal case. It was not based on any child. It was not based. It was something that was mentioned by the people to try to find fault with me, just like Fazio does and everybody else on here. Let's find fault. Let's build up on this, and maybe some people will catch on. Maybe some people will believe it. Maybe they won't. But let's have fun with this. Let's go with this. Blah, 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 blah. Where's it gotten you so far? Nowhere. Okay. There you go. On one breath, practically here. Okay. Give me 5. Oh, in regards to, again, my income is none of anybody's fucking business. Obviously, I must be doing something right. I mean, duh, a house. Okay. And I seem to be stable, living out here, everything working out real good, doing something right. So you could just pretend, somebody here, you could just pretend that Frank is living a horrible life, but am I living a horrible life? Where do you come up with that? Because it sounds good on your show? Dude, let me tell you something. This household income around here is pretty damn good. And we're not talking about my Social Security. Okay, but then again, like I said in my upload, Hey, man, this is the Philippines. You're comparing what I make on my Social Security to what they're making in America at McDonald's? Perhaps they're making a lot of money at McDonald's these days, but you understand something. This ain't America. This is the Philippines. Our money goes a long way here. So if you were making, let's say, McDonald's money and living here, you're probably doing okay. Because, well, duh, this is the fucking Philippines, assholes, asswipes. And it's none of your business what I make. You'd be shocked how much I make per month. You'd be shocked. Now, this wasn't forever. This is maybe something that's been going on for maybe 6 months. But I'm going to tell you something. I was always able to live on my Social Security. And don't forget, it's not like we're broke around here that we don't have emergency money put away. Look, I make enough money to last me and have enough money to last me the rest of my natural life, however long that might be, long or short. My girlfriend is set up for the rest of her life. That's all you need to know. She's fine. We set this up to be it this way. Can you do that for your woman? You're grasping for straws every fucking day. Look, I don't just, my fucking, and then they're talking about my super chat like it's a fucking competition, man. We're not competing with no. We don't need to compete. People want to donate to my channel, they donate, man. How many times can I say that? They do, they do. If they don't, they don't. If they do, hey, man, thank you. That's cool. That's all. That's where I go with this. That's where it ends. Don't worry about money, how much I make here. It's none of anybody's business. Let's just say that we did right. We did something righteous. We set up ourselves for the future. I will always have enough money for the rest of my natural life, be it I live to 85 or not. My girlfriend is set up for the rest of her natural life. And if you love somebody, that's what you do. If you with a woman and you can't take care of her, you don't belong in that relationship. Right now, she's pretty much taking care of me. She's pretty much the big breadwinner around here. Tell you that. Kind of the opposite of a simp situation, you know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. My generosity paid off. And speaking of fucking generosity, I don't hear any of these fucking trolls out here being generous to Filipinos. I haven't heard that. Few stories I hear now and then. Tell you what, I went to my lawyer's office yesterday, so 2 days ago. Okay. There's a guy at the bottom of the stairs. He's not dressed very well. He's an older Filipino guy, you know, just sitting there half asleep all the time with a little, sign in sheet, half asleep most of the time. Took care of business with my lawyer. I ain't going to tell you what that was about, but took care of business with my lawyer. Came back about to leave the door outside. I turn around. I pull out a 500 spot out of my pocket and I give it to the guy. Why? I wasn't on camera. I'd have to put it on camera to show how generous I am. And then just as yesterday, I went to another store and there was an old woman in front of me. Looks like she was struggling just to buy a little bit of soy sauce with some cans of tuna fish flakes. Horrible shit they should be buying. I turned around, I threw 3 100s in her basket. She looked at me with strange eyes, like, what the fuck? And I just didn't say any words. I go, it's okay, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Smiled at her. When she left, she thanked me again. I said, walang sabayan. That was it. This is the kind of things I do that doesn't have to go on camera, that I do very often, that I did not have to do. Not everything has to be on camera. Showing, I did one thing in a fiesta here. I went around giving out different types of notes, hundreds, 500s. All right. I was in a good festival mood, good festival mood. I wanted to help people out because maybe I had a good day. Maybe things were good for me. And this is my town. I respect my town. They know me for this. You're not going to put a bad name on me on my town. And the last guy that tried doing that is in a court system right now, facing fucking charges. The last guy who defamed me that lived in my fucking town knows fucking better that he will never defame me in this town again. He's paying for it, right? And he will pay for it. So if you don't think I do shit, you're fucking wrong. There's things I do on the sides you will never know about. There's things I've done already that you never know about. There's things I've done in the past you never knew about. Don't take me for granted and don't take me lightly. You talk about somebody's wife, girlfriend, bring it into proper context. Okay, why? What is it you're mentioning about it? And if I had ever talked about somebody's woman on here, I don't recall mentioning anybody's fucking names. Now, even Ricky Licky says you're talking shit about my woman. I never mentioned her fucking name. And if the shoe fits, fucking wear it, dude. Are you or not? Are you not buying hers? I'm asking you. Are you not buying her phones to stay with you? Then you would take it to hotels before you rented that dump. You're not living a 5-star fucking lifestyle. Hardly. Compare it with the way Barry's living. At least Barry don't have to pay any fucking rent. You know, man, good gesture is instinctive. I do that all the time. Even my girlfriend, she used to tell the kids last night, yeah, he went out and gave me some. I said, maybe you should hold on to my money, Gil, is what I told her. Maybe you should hold on to my money because I am too generous. You know, if I was a multi-millionaire or something, if I was multi, you know, I don't know, man, I'd be dangerous in a lot of ways. A lot of ways. But in a generous way, I mean, I don't know, man. It might be dangerous for me because I grew up in a poor household. I kind of relate in some ways. Not, I was never that bad. So I've seen somehow some Filipinos living out here. A lot of them actually. I mean, how could you not want to help somebody? I realize you can't help everybody, man. You can't do that. You'll be broke yourself. I can't help every injured dog or cat I see. I cannot help every person I see. Sometimes I feel guilty living out here. You ever feel that way if you're living out here? Do you ever feel guilty in a way? You're living in this third world country. You're coming from a so called first world country, and you've always had it better than people here. Not everybody. There's rich people here. There's very wealthy Filipinos. We're not talking about the 1%. We're talking about the 99 percentile, whatever. Don't you feel a little bit guilty? Come on, to walk by. The one thing I'd never like is when a kid will come up to me rudely, money. Yeah, I will say fuck you. I will. I'll probably have said it. You know, even something stupid like go get a job. Well, he's too young to get a job, obviously. But when you're pissed off at somebody, I don't care if it's just a kid. What the fuck are your parents teaching you? Go out, put your hands out, and say, "Give me money." Fuck you, no matter what age you are and who the fuck you are, and what fucking high shrine you fucking stepped off. Fuck you. You don't just abruptly ask money for money. When you don't ask is when people will give you, when you don't fucking ask. And that's pertaining even to my show. Fucking Kevin on his last fucking show. How about sending me money, John? People spoil Big Kevin too much. He's like a dog having an expectation to get a fucking biscuit at 6 o'clock. Fucking worthless fat piece of shit. They're all gonna die. They're all obese. They all got high blood pressure, diabetes. They're all gonna fucking die, and they won't be around anymore. They'll all be gone. How's that? To make you feel better about the future with these fucking people. Even I'll be dead someday, but I'll bet you I'll outlive every one of these motherfucking bastards. I'll bet you that. Okay. I'll be back in 5. 35 strong. 35 strong. Thank you, Paul. My streams are usually great. And that's part of the problem to some people because I only speak the truth as I see it, as you've seen it visibly on people's shows. And that's the only stuff I repeat and talk about. Not everybody does that. I don't make up shit. I have no reason. I tell you like it is as I heard it and you heard it and you've seen it. That's the difference between me and the trolls on here. Again, I've apologized. No more. I've apologized about things I've said to some people in the past, the whole fucking vortex shit. I got caught up in that windstorm like anybody else did. But I didn't make a fucking career out of it. That's the difference between me and these people, okay? There's sick people out here, man. Sicker than you fucking know. People talk about Jerry. All right. Jerry could be a fucking asshole when he wants to. But at least Jerry, he's doing something good with his life. The guy goes fucking diving. That's a recreation. His life is a lot on YouTube for some reason. I don't know how much time he spends with his old lady, but we're not going to even try to pretend anything about that or even make up a lie. But I will say that Jerry goes diving, man. That's notable. He's doing something with his life. He has a fucking passion for something. Okay? What do these guys have a passion for fucking hate? Calling up people's children. Look what they did with fucking Johnny Warrior's wife, this, that, this, that. I mean, fucking A, man. These are sick fucking people, man. Jesus fucking Christ. Take 3, we have to pee. Yeah, actually, I don't have to pee. I got to put something away here. Maybe grab something quickly to eat. I didn't eat anything this morning. Righteous Billy. Yeah, they call themselves righteous. There's nothing righteous about these asswipes at all. Walking, talking, fucking abortions. Smack the mother. Don't smack the baby. Smack the mother for having that baby. And again, I'm going to tell you something about kids. You know, I don't like a lot of things about Brevis. I think he's a punk. I think he's a punk ass motherfucker. I think he's a troublemaker. I think he's a fucking stalker. I don't think he's a righteous person. But you know what? I'm the one that came on here and wished well for his newborn child. Always did. Anybody's children should not be involved in anything on here, anything that people want to blast each other, talk about the children, shit like that. Nobody should. Leave his child alone. Yeah, he's fucked up in a lot of ways and he knows it. I don't hate the guy. I didn't like his approach. That's all. The way he stalked me to meet me and all that. And he talked shit on Jerry's show about me on the interview. Talk shit everybody else's show about me. Leaving comments that were shitty about me. Teaming up with fucking Ricky, another sick motherfucking bastard who's psychologically fucking ill. Using fucking women. He abuses women as much as fucking Barry does. Yeah. No, they ain't. None of them are worth my fucking time. Be honest about it. None of them are worth my fucking time. I don't lose sleep over these people. Trust me, I don't lose sleep over these people. But God damn it, I will come on my show. You know, sounds like something Nico would say. But God damn it, I will come on my show and I will speak my mind and I will tell you like it is. And I will also tell you how it is not. Yeah. People begging, begging, begging. They're all depending on the fucking super chat, man. Fucking A. Brevis is that kid in high school who wants to hang out with the big boys. It's all like this little syndrome of the Chihuahua wanting to hang around with the Mastiff. I'll be right back. Okay, where were we? Anyway, I think I pretty much said. Oh, yeah, he's a super fan, but a two-faced bastard. You know, you like somebody you don't. Don't come on your show in the beginning. He says, "Oh, I like Frank. I followed Frank for, how many years, but yet he stalked me and he feels rejected." I understand. We've all been rejected in our life at some point or another, whether it's a woman, whether it's a friendship, whether it's an organization you wanted to join or whatever. And nobody, it's human nature. Nobody likes to be rejected. I understand that. There's no reason to go hog wild against somebody because of rejection. You did something wrong. You handled it the wrong way. You went about trying to find a friendship with somebody the wrong way. Then he's talking about stupid things. Oh, Frank's electrical doesn't work. What electrical doesn't work? What electrical doesn't work? I mean, fuck, we treat the guy fine. Even gave him a piece of mango cake. I don't know. Well, where did we go wrong with Brevis when he came over here? Where did we go wrong? We treated him respectfully, but we didn't get it back. We never got it back. All he does is talk shit about me. Oh, your time is coming. Yeah, my time is coming. Maybe yours is too. You got into a fight, a couple of weeks ago or a week ago? Is that like a sign of things to come? That if you're going to treat people the way you do and you think you're better than everybody else, you think people are going to take to you kindly? Of course you're going to mesh with people like fucking Ricky. Losers, they hang together. And the only reason you like Barry Brevis is because he was your drinking buddy. You're a fucking alcoholic and you know it. You're a fucking pothead. You know it. You miss California. When I talked to you at the time you came over, you said it was almost a lifesaver to you because you were really chronic with your pot smoking. You were in the business, whether legal or not, I don't know. I'm not going to be one of these assholes to come on here and say that you were selling illegal drugs in America. See, that's the difference between me and you. That's the difference between me and a lot of other people. Okay? I'm not going to say something that I can't back up. So I don't care who forms an alliance with who. You're all fucked up on here as far as I'm concerned. You're all fucked up. This is, to me, yes, entertainment. To me, this is a hobby. It's not my life. It's a big difference. It's a hobby. Okay, gray one. When Dave and Joey for shrimp dinner, that's when the genre turned. Guru says Licky will throw Beavis under the bus. That's a given. Yeah, just like, chances are that Al is going to throw Fazio under the bus again. And this is not the first time, guys. Fazio has tried this relationship with Aloe, I don't know how many times in the past many, many, many years. He's for Aloe and he's kissing his ass and sucking his dick, or he's against him, or finds another reason to be against him, or maybe, Aloe said something that butt hurt him. Then he's on the big defense. Do you know how far Fazio went with me? You guys, you guys may have a clue, but you really don't know how deep it goes. This is how sick this motherfucker is. You have no idea how deep this goes with my tenants and otherwise. Yeah, he's the one that called the cops to come to my house in Hawaii. He's the one, that fucking bastard. I don't even know how he's fucking alive, because the way he treats people, his attitude. Never mind Ricky coming over there giving him a bitch slap. Could have been worse, guys. Could have been worse with other people. He said, "Yeah, I bet you $10,000 you're not going to come here and face me." Well, Ricky came there and faced you. What did you do? You cried. "I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police." And you cried like a fucking baby. So shut the fuck up, Fazio. Shut the fuck up for once in your life. Knock that motor out of your mouth. 6 to 8 hour broadcast. You put people to sleep, dude. When I have had made an effort to try to listen to any number of your shows, I'm going to be straight up with you. I snoozed off. Snoozed off. Believe me, you could ask my partner. I snoozed off. Snoring. Then, waking up a few seconds later because I don't really sleep. Take a nap during the day, nothing like that. And I'll hear him talking again, like, what the fuck? Is he still on here? And I'll turn it off. I mean, this guy can run his mouth like nobody I know. And he should write lots of books. A little late is his old age, but this guy has a story to tell about everything. Not only does he tell a story about some guy in the past, but he'll give the time to the second, what the weather was like, 25 years ago. 10 minutes after 12. Oh, no, make that 12 minutes after 12, he'll say. What the fuck? The psychology here, man, is scary. It's scary. And you got everybody kissing each other's asses and sucking each other's dicks. Rich Brong doesn't know how he feels about me, because I see Rich Brong's comments on shows. At first, I thought at some point he was partially supportive of me, but he's not. But then again, in the scheme of things, who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares who's supportive of you? They're not putting food on my table, then it don't mean shit. You don't pay my house taxes. You don't provide my meals for me at night. I don't give a fuck what you think about me. I'm living my own life. You live yours. And if you're envious of how my life is in some form or way or some element of it, it's not my problem, dude. It's yours. Yeah. Paul Ip says he just trashed the winter to defend your old lady. And you were, no, I said in the beginning here. Apparently you must have came in a little bit late. I'll give you a little credit. He did defend her. And I actually applauded him for that. So right away, you're coming in here, you're making a fucking, get the fuck off my show. I have no fucking patience for assholes like you. If you would have came in the beginning of the show, you would have heard me say, thank you to Fazio for defending. Okay? That's what I said. I will give credit to somebody when it's due, but when it's not due, I'm not going to pretend that I like you just to get a super chat from you. I'm not going to pretend that I like you to keep you on my show, your comments, to allow your comments. I don't need the viewers that bad, nor do I need the money that bad. It's all having to do of being individualistic. You like a channel, you send a thank you money, or you thank you super chat, If you don't, you don't. My world does not revolve around that and never will, fortunately for me. Okay, that's just simple as it is. Everything is competition. Views, subscribers, how many super chats this guy gets, how many the other guy doesn't get. He's making more super chat than you. He's making sort of more super chat than me. Who the fuck cares? Okay? I look at it this way. I got a dollar sign thing on here. You see that? You either donate to the channel because you like my show, what I have to say. And even if you do like my show, you still don't have to donate. If you don't like my show, you don't have to donate. Either way works for me. That's how I see it. There you go. I'm not going to go broke because somebody doesn't send me a super chat. It's just a simple way of saying, hey, dude, I like your show. Here's something to show that I like it. Do whatever you want with it. That's it. Don't go any further than that. My name isn't Barry Lee Jordan. I'm not looking to buy a bottle of Jim Beam or something, okay? Don't need an Xbox. Don't need a new set of teeth, okay? I don't need to pay my rent with your money because I don't have rent. So there you go. Okay, there you go. If you want to say something in regards to anything I said on my show, you're welcome to say it. Speak now or forever hold your peace. And by all means, yeah, might be a little redundant. I did do an upload, and I don't know, check the status on that. I'm not sure. Pretty much said on my upload what I'm pretty much saying on here right now. I didn't listen to the rest of Fazio's show. I don't need to, but Michael, I got to tell you something. You really could be a bastard. Do you know that? Take a good look at yourself and everything you've done to people. Stop pointing your fingers too. This applies to you. And you know what you've done to me, and you know what you continue to do to me, and your karma ain't looking too good. And who's to say I ain't doing nothing about it? I'm not talking about anything physical. Okay? I give people one fucking warning, and that's it. And I gave my last warning to Barry Jordan. He didn't comply. And where the fuck is he now? Did Popeye put him in jail? They'd like to think they did. Everybody wants to jump on a bandwagon and take credit for something that they had fucking nothing to do. Nothing to do with. Absolutely fucking nothing to do. All you do is shows about Ace Bachelor Cool, these guys with Ricky. Who the fuck cares about this guy, Ace Bachelor Cool? Who the fucking cares about anybody on here? Let them do their shows, good or bad. And if they're talking shit about you, they're going to talk shit about you. You got the right to long form their show. You can spend your whole 75% of your day long, and I don't do that. I'm not going to spend any good period of time of mine long forming a show. It's worthless most of the time anyway. It's a waste of time and oxygen. And most of these people that are just knocking everybody left and right, they get their shows taken off left and right. I'm still here, 7.5 years. Still here. I might have changed my name. And by the way, I will change my name to the show. I think I have to wait a couple of days for that. They allow you only it's still actually uploading. Okay, I can see why, because I'm not even on my Wi-Fi. It's on mobile data. That's probably a pretty good reason why it's taking a long time to upload. But I do have an upload on here. It's on the ferry, and you can watch it after this show. You're certainly welcome to. And if not, don't bother. I might have said some of the same things I said on this show today. It's up to you if you want to watch it. I did a bunch of other uploads I'm not even putting on because they weren't worthwhile. I even take things off after a while. I look at them and I say, nah, that's why I take things off. I'm not running away from something, not hiding, or else I wouldn't put the show on. And I wouldn't have said what I needed to say. Strasburg, I must excuse myself. Noodles ready, toodles. Yeah, I haven't eaten shit all fucking day. Actually, I'm probably going to need to do a lunch pretty soon of some sort. Actually, I like the idea of no breakfast. It's the thing I'm going to be trying to do. It's very hard. But now that I bought some cereal, it may have to be in the future, maybe a lunch that I'll skip. Now, if you go to fast, you do it the right way. Yeah, fucking Don C came on Aloe show, so whatever it was. And he's talking about fasting. People have been fasting since the beginning of time. They can go for 30 days. Well, you see, Don, Mr. Know-It-All, Don Cunt. Listen, Don Cunt. And you're another fat bastard. You said you lost 60. How about another fucking 60? Shut your fucking mouth. Why don't you keep your format in Thailand where you live? Stay out of the Philippines genre. Why are you even here with this community unless you got nothing going on in your own community of Thailand? Shut the fuck up. And you owe me 50K. And fucking Pennsylvania Trucker owes me 50K. He's on my shit list forever, Pennsylvania Trucker, because he reneged on his deal, as well as a couple other people, including Mike Ross and even Don C. and WTF. There you go. All these people that are bullshit artists, they don't back up what they say because they can. They just want to talk about people to make themselves feel good. Okay, tell you what, I'm going to do a little lunchtime here. I'm going to keep the show going. I may come on after my lunch. So rather than cut the show off, I'm just going to leave it on and hit the microphone on here and mute it for a while. The floor is yours, guys. I got to eat something. I haven't really eaten anything since 4 o'clock this morning. Richard Jarrett touched you in a bar. Get the fuck off here. Certain levels of trolls I'll take and not take on my show. I don't want to hear say I don't want any bullshit. You got a problem with Licky Ricky, I tell you what, dude, you take it up with him. You got a problem with Michael Fazio, you take it up with him. You got a problem with Aloe, you take it up with him. You got a problem with Popeye, you take it up with him. You got a problem with anybody on here, you take it up with them. Don't tell me your problems with them. Okay? He's never sent me a fucking dime, Michael Ross. So you talk about Pennsylvania Trucker. It's another fucking loser. His act of life is walking from a fucking truck to a fucking diner. He smokes like a chimney. He's terribly out of shape. He's overweight. He's obese. He's sending money to a fucking Filipina, and excuse the word fucking. She might be a nice gal. I don't know. Yeah, he knocked up some chick. Is what he did in the Philippines. He's been sending money every month. And if he is doing that for the sake of the kid, then we have to applaud him. As much as I don't like the motherfucker, if you're doing something righteous, that's the difference between me and everybody else on here. If you're at fault, I'll let you know you're at fault. But if you're being righteous about something or did something righteous, I'm going to tell you did. That's the difference. Oh, I'm changing that. I think I have a couple of days. You can only change your name so many times. They give you a limit. I was playing around with John Blaze, another one. They're all characters. They all jumping fences. They must be athletes by now. You would think they'd be. They got some strong leg muscles, I'll tell you that. 'Cause the fence jumping that goes on in this community, it's incredible, man. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, we're back a little bit here. Those out there that have high blood pressure, they're out there drinking all the time. And what do you think is going to happen? Remember when Ricky once said that he had like 5 drinks and his pressure just went way up? A lot of these people have a lot of health problems, a lot more than they're going to tell you. Okay, a lot more. And, I laugh. That's why I kind of kick back and I listen to their insults and I listen to their critiques and their doxing and all that shit. And I sit back with a smile on my face. Why? Because I know better. I may not have a doctor's degree and all that shit, but I tell you what, I do know a lot about health. I do. Years and years, 40 years of studying different things. And I know when a disaster is about to happen. Instinctively, knowledge wise, whatever. I know when explosion is going to happen. And I know when somebody fuse is coming down to hit that strike point on that stick of dynamite, and it's going to explode. Heart attack, stroke, or the metabolic things that go on your body when you're diabetic. When you're obese, especially, is probably one of the worst things here on YouTube. Obesity is so widespread because all they do is sit on their fat asses and make shows about people. That's all they do. Gee, duh, no wonder they're obese. They're like 3 times their fucking BMI, body mass index. Well, yeah, yep. But it's also dieting right. So if you want to diet, I don't give a shit what you do. Don't pretend you know every fucking thing. I lost this, I lost that. Well, prove it. Oh, I never even got dizzy. I never felt funny. I never felt weak. I never, because I'm a real man. When everybody's got to explain why they're a real man because they could use a fucking tool. You know what I say about real men? Real men have hearts. They're compassionate, passionate. They're loving. They're giving. They respect other people, and they respect themselves. Completely the opposite of most of the people on here. So a real man has boobs. A real man, you know, lives in a caddy shack after expressing himself as being a master carpenter, a masturbator, probably. All right, owns sports cars, yachts, barges, anything for attention, man. When you're that freaking lonely, let me explain something. When you're that freaking, how are you doing, Jiffy? I did, in fact, yeah. Oh. I did. I bought some really nice Burlington socks right here. Really nice. Just short ones. You know, you wear your shoes with this. You barely can see the sock. It's just going to get the sweat. Right here. Meant what I said, didn't I? I bought my socks. I certainly did, Jeffy Geechee. There you go. Answers your question. I certainly did. I bought some underwear. I got some new shirts. Oh yeah. You see, when I make my trips to the Sin City over there, I try to take care of everything I could because I don't like staying there very long. You really did get socks. Classic. I did. I'm a man of my word. If I say I'm going to do something, obviously I do it, right? Good morning, Ken. Yeah, and yeah, a really big shoot today. My first live in several days. And all I could shoot off was some uploads because I really didn't have the capability of doing any live streams. I can't do that on my phone. If I would have brought my computer, I could have done that. But yeah, I didn't do it. You know the funny thing, guys? And this is funny. You know, those guys did a live show, Ricky and Brevis. They missed me by 45 minutes, or I missed them by 45 minutes. I was right down there. They were on Fuente, and they went to Robinson's, where I went. They walked to the food court, where I went through. They passed the Raja Hotel. They passed Mercury's. They were on the Perch. Everywhere I was. 45-minute difference. That was it. 45-minute difference. Okay. This was after the fact. I seen they did a show, and they were actually downtown in the Fuente area. 45 minutes before that, that's where I was. Funny. What would I have done when I've seen them? I wasn't going to run away. They weren't going to do nothing. They know better. They know better to do anything to me. They wind up in jail or worse. I'd confront them because I know they're not going to strike me. What are they going to say? What are they going to say? Really, what are they going to do? I already told Gilda, if I ran into them, I'd face them. I'm not going to come there with a baseball bat and say, oh, I'll beat the shit out of you. No, man, I'd be a gentleman. Laugh in their face, perhaps, or something. Or just ask them quite bluntly, okay, something you want to do? Here's a chance. Do it. Come on, do it. Do it. Just do it. Stop all the fucking what you're going to do to me and what you're going to do. Me. Fuck that shit. I'll confront anybody. They just got to remember there's a consequence to anything you do. If they don't think that I would follow through with anything I would intend to do if they accosted me in any way, you're very wrong. Then I guess all these years you just don't know me. You just don't know me. Gentlemen use a cricket bat. Jeff Swift's limp wang. Good one there. Good one. 34 strong, 11 up, 11 up, 11 up. You do better than that, guys. Yeah. But, yeah, 45 minutes, I swear to you. In fact, you know what? The funny thing was, uh, my girlfriend was still downtown. She was meeting up with her friends at another point around the same period of time. When I went back to the hotel, they, they were meeting up. In fact, I actually was there. We sat in, well, the first part, they had their meeting. I met a few nice guys, some foreigners, some of them were boyfriend and girlfriends or wife or whatever, husbands of the other. And I didn't plan to stay there because it was like it was a girls' thing. Then all of a sudden the guys showed up. Okay, and that was it. And I was there for like an hour. And we were sitting right there down in Fuente area in Jolly Bees. I was there for about an hour at Jolly Bees, right there. If they would have walked into Jolly Bees, I was right there. If I had decided to have something in a food court at Robinson's, I was right there. Would have been right there. Right. If I was walking the streets at that time, I would have ran into him. Oh, yeah. I watched that later on. I said, holy shit, these goobers are downtown. What an opportunity to meet up with them, see what they do. See what they do for the hell of it. Camera on, of course, of course. See what they do. You going to slap me in the face, in the ear like you did to Fazio? Yeah, go ahead. Try it. See what happens. See if I don't get you down first and see how fast this old man is. They might be surprised. I don't know. Look at Brevis. See that mark on his face? I asked him in the comments. He says, yeah, I got into a fight with somebody about a week ago. Can he just stay out of trouble, man? Why do these foreigners come to this country? I ask myself all the time, why do they come here just to start trouble with people? I mean, what is the purpose of even coming here? I know, the pussy, the pussy. Jesus Christ, Philippines ain't just. Oh, yeah, grant you, there's some really good looking women out here, man. Nothing wrong with my eyes. Even if I'm with Gilda, I'll look. I ain't touching. I'll look. If some woman is exceptionally beautiful, I'm going to look and say, I might even tell her, boy, look at that woman's attractive woman. Or look at this one. Well, she's got some really good Spanish features. She's got the lighter skin. She's got different eyes, different nose. Yeah. Nothing wrong with my eyes. I ain't dead. I mean, I'm in a relationship. I'm not dead. And I'm sure if she seen an extraordinary movie star type guy walk by her, she'd probably be thinking to herself, man, that guy's pretty good looking, or he's a movie star, whatever. It's just human nature. The idea is, you're not doing nothing about it. You're not touching him. You're not flirting with him. All's good. But yeah, there's plenty of good looking Filipinos out in this country. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Amazing, actually. I understand why everybody's attracted to come here. No doubt about that, man. Jeff Swift, Limp Wang says he left his family for alcohol. Yep. I don't know what Jeff Swift did. I don't really care with the fuck stick. The fuck stick. I don't care what the fuck stick did. Or is he doing now? I really don't give a shit. Hope I made my point today. I think I actually did a pretty damn good job of expressing myself on this show here today. How I feel about the trolls out there, what they're doing with their lives is not significant to me unless they make it significant, and it affects me. And right, Aloe is a low hanging fruit to anyone. He's a psychopath. Dick Insider, Flying Circus. I could go down the list of people who are fucking just mentally ill, putting it mildly. And sometimes I think I'm the only sane one on here. We're not all perfect, neither am I. But I'm no way like these people. I'm not even remotely like these people. I guess you'd have to know that if you actually knew me personally. What I say and do on camera and off camera might be two different things. Usually I'm just laid back. I'm watching a movie on TV. It's just surviving, living, doing my chores, do what old men do. Well, I do more than that, but at least I get on the treadmill. Haven't for a couple of days, but I did enough walking downtown in Cebu, I could tell you that. I try to do things for myself that are good, as well as acknowledging anything that I don't do good health wise. I'm honest with my viewers, but I'm also honest with myself. I know what I do is right when it's right, and I know what I do is wrong when I do wrong. I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not afraid to express it. Jifigichi says they aren't dining at Kenny Rogers enjoying roast chicken with delectable sauces. 5 star. Well, that's not 5 star, but Kenny Rogers is okay. They just don't offer a big menu. Okay. They don't offer a big menu. The chicken is very good. The chicken is very good. I like the chicken.
Yeah.
The Waterman.
Wait,
Uh, if I got any money left, without going to the bank, you can check my wallet. We just spent everything on this trip. Could go back to the bank to replenish. Give them whatever you got. There's change everywhere around here too. Look on the thing there. We don't keep money in the house here. Only if I know there's going to be a delivery or something like that. No, Kenny Rogers is okay. They don't give you they don't give you much for the money. Very little. For example, that I don't know if it had a butter sauce, whatever it had, with the corn and the carrots. Really tasty, actually. I love it. And those potatoes, like baby potatoes, sour. What was it? Chives and whatever the hell they had in that thing. Shit, I could eat a huge bowl of that shit. The chicken was good. Tiny little bit of salad. God, you know, can you spare any more fucking lettuce? I mean, it's a good place. Not 5 star. We were going to go to, which is not 5 star, but we were going to go to Vikings and pig out. We didn't wind up doing that. We got distracted because she met up with some of her friends on the last night. So, and wind up picking on this and picking on that. So, I haven't been to Vikings yet, but I wanted to go there. And I was going to check out the smokehouse. We didn't get to see. Look, you got to understand, when I go to Cebu, it's for a number of reasons. You know, her relatives are there. Her mom is there. She's ill. You know, she's old. She sees her kids. I mean, you know, all the time. They come running over. And we're you know, wherever we're staying, you know, even though the kids might have just left the house over here in Santa Fe just a couple of days prior because they were visiting us. We're in Cebu. They all come by. Her son and his wife were here with us for well, there with us for a while. Spent some time. Then I was really tired, so she went to her mom's to visit her mom and her sister and all that stuff. I didn't feel like going. Just wanted to watch. I was watching that movie, The Exorcist or something. The Exorcist, or whatever the fuck it was. It was okay as a typical Satan movie, you know, and all that stuff. But go watch that movie with Tom Hanks, Otto. I'm Otto in some ways. The role that Tom Hanks was playing, in some regards, I'm Otto. His general look at the world and everything else is like he's just indifferent to all the bullshit, you know. That's me. That's, you know, the role of Tom Hanks. It's on Netflix. You haven't seen it. It's actually worth seeing. I kind of had an attitude, and still do, like Otto on, you know, Tom Hanks, you know, to a certain point. And he was living his life, though, but he had a lot of gripes. He lost his wife. She had a bad bus accident. She became paralyzed. I don't want to give away the whole story because I'd like you to watch it and see how you come away from that movie. And I don't know what you thought about that. Otto was pretty good. Not far from me. And oh, was it in Cleveland? Oh, okay. Yeah, Tom Hanks. Obviously a genuinely good actor. No, there's no question about that at all. He's really a good actor, and he really played his part. You know, I wasn't looking at him as Tom Hanks. I was looking at the role. That's how you know he's a good actor. I was looking at him as the role he was playing. Very believable. And I think a lot of people, I think, relate with Otto on there. You've had a loss in your life and you become bitter, even to your neighbors. You just don't want to deal with nobody. So when he retired from just out of this engineering job he had, I guess he made some good money. What he did, he had a big position. He didn't realize what the fuck to do with himself. How many times he stopped himself? No, I never did nothing like that. It's not me. When I say I'm like Otto, not in these certain ways, but I mean there's certain aspects of Otto that's like me. In his case, he wanted to commit suicide about four different times on that movie. Stopped himself because he kept on thinking about his wife. Maybe it's worth living, and he didn't want to touch his room with all her belongings and clothes. He found it very hard to relate with his neighbors he'd known for years and some new neighbors. Some weird guy. He was always doing this walk, it was this power walk. Funny as shit the way this guy was doing this power walk. You'd have to see the movie. And, he did something wonderful at the end of the movie. I don't want to do any spoilers, but he did wind up dying in the movie, but that's a spoiler. But, it's what he did with the people that he cared for, that he allowed himself to open up his heart to people and relate to people. So generally, I'd say that was a really good story on there. If you haven't, has anybody seen that yet? Yeah, I barely remember that one, Joe versus Volcano. I barely remember that. I know the title. I barely remember that. Yeah. All in all, I had a very productive several days. I was out there, very productive. There was a few things I wanted to do. I wanted to go see a skin doctor just to double check myself, make sure I ain't got no skin cancer, because I know somebody that found out he's got what is it, melanoma, and he had to have quite a bit of chunk taken out of his skin. About I don't know. He claimed to me it was about 2 inches wide, about a quarter of an inch deep, and then they have to take that sample. And the typical thing they have to put in a microscope and see if they got it all out. Then, of course, probably a blood test afterwards or something to see if it got into the system. That's typical of what happens if you have melanoma. Was it melanoma? I always think of melatonin when I think of that word, but they're related actually. They're actually related. Um, yeah, I was going to do that, and I was also going to see an optometrist. But I went over there. I happened to be at the Cebu Doctors. That's where I wound up at Cebu Doctors at one point, and their office was closed. I said, "Oh fuck it, another day." But I didn't plan to spend that much time in Cebu, so I was just so many other things I had to do. We were running back and forth for this, for that, meeting up with a few of our friends, uh, going into several malls, looking for certain things, buying certain things, eating out lunch, eating out dinner. So, yeah, I kind of make the best of it when I go to Cebu. I don't waste my time out there at all. Unfortunately, I had an uncomfortable bed in this particular place I stayed at this time. It wasn't my usual, but I wasn't happy. The bed, I just had kind of had a bad back this morning when I left. Uh, then most of the time, it seems like every place I've been into that had a TV, something wasn't working right. You had to call somebody up and say, what's going on with this? I can't navigate on here. I can't even get anything on. So they charge you premium prices, but a lot of these places, I don't. My biggest gripe is um,
Maybe it's not.
okay. A lot of the hotels or condos I've been to, some of them that operate B&B, they don't maintain the place. You're always going to see a cockroach running around somewhere around the counter. Most of the places that I'll go to, I'm going to have a full size refrigerator to accommodate the stuff we buy in the store to bring home, and has a sink, of course, microwave, and a hot plate. Um, but most of these places, unfortunately, all they do, they put those black plastic roach traps around. You can see it between the cabinets and shit, which is your first sign that there's roaches. And no matter how new the building might be, there's going to be roaches. How bad compared to others, that's another story. But they come out at night, you'll see them. You turn the light on, you'll startle them. Yeah, I don't like insects inside the house. I hate them. I've never had a roach climb on my bed at this house. I don't usually have any problems with roaches where I live. Ants, yeah. Roaches, no, just an occasional straggler that might get in. In fact, what I normally do, my backpack and other stuff, I'll wash it in the washer when I get home. And the box of food, usually open it up outside and bring it in. Make sure we're not bringing any roaches in the house. Yeah, we do take these. We do take these precautions. Let's see, 2 days in the city, and most get provisions. Then out, I need an outpost. It calms the nerves. Yeah. Oh no, we were going to go down to Cologne area. We go down to the market area. I was going to get some. If you saw my video on SNR, and I will talk about that. Highly disappointing. Um, there is certain items I need to go there for that I can't get anywhere else. Totally disappointing. It really is. They never wind up having in the things I want when I need them, like the blueberries, frozen broccoli. They don't have a good selection of frozen vegetables at all. All you ever find in every goddamn store out here, if you could find frozen vegetables, it's peas and carrots, and they're horrible. They're horrible. I go for things like broccoli, cauliflower, things like that. And every time I go to SNR, they don't have it. So we also went into Ayala Metro, which is a joke. It's nothing but a glorified SNR store, but they do have the international aisles. And if you're willing to pay the crazy prices they charge, then you'll get your opportunity. It's how bad you want it. Me, I turned down a few items on camera. I think when I was I doing a show in there too? I might have. Maybe I should put that on. Imagine four peaches costing you over $10. You could find peaches and nectarines. Over $10 for four small sized peaches. Look, money or not, I'm not going to give in to that, no matter how much I like peaches. A lot of people say, well, if you got money, man, the time, buy it if you like it. I usually do. But just sometimes I put boots to the ground and I say, no, man, I'm not going to encourage these prices. I've seen even in SNR, there's later, if you want frozen stuff, it's not the best selection in the world, but there might be some products from America, Marie Collanders, all kinds of shit that maybe you had regularly in America. I'm not going to pay for a tiny little Marie Collanders pot pie, which used to be my standby when I was hungry back in Hawaii. I'd always have something like either chicken or turkey pie, or maybe the beef, not often the beef, always chicken. And you pay a couple of bucks for that at most. The motherfuckers want like $8 for a fucking Marie Collander's pot pie. Are you fucking kidding me? So for those that want to move out here, you think you're going to be like living in a free zone? You think you'll be living, that your little Social Security check is going to carry you a long way, and you expect to eat good, not have to be stuck eating local food, which some of it is okay. You're out of your mind. You're out of your monkey ass mind. If you think you're going to get away that easy living out here, look, I don't make a bad income here all the way around. As I said, don't matter where my income's coming from. I'm living okay. I'm living okay. We're doing okay. But I will tell you, just because a product is there doesn't mean I'm going to buy it. For example, I was going to buy the B12, that big old bottle of B12, 1,000 micrograms. They wanted over 40 something bucks for that. I said, fuck that. Actually took it out of the cart and brought it back. I could order something like this. I could find it on Lazada or Shopee for a whole lot less. Why should I pay more? I know, pass the price on to the consumer because everything is important. I get it. Hey man, business is business. I get it. You got to profit. That's how you profit. You got to add in the import or export the import fees. But some people just get carried away, like Safeway in Hawaii. Fuck that. Fuck that. You'd have to live there to understand what I'm talking about because I could not explain it to you otherwise. You wouldn't believe. But at least they had real chicken. I mean, whole size chicken. Where do you find large adult chicken, frozen chicken to buy out here? You don't. They're in such a swift, speaking of swift, a swift mood to get that chicken on the market and get it sold and put money in their pocket. They don't even allow the goddamn chicken to peck a few times, to peck a few morsels of food before they kill it already and put it out for market. You get these tiny little chickens out here, and they charge you a lot of money. Average is about $2.50 per kilo. $2.50 per kilo. Anyway, it seems like the dialogue is going down. I'm out of here. That's the kind of way I do my shows now, and I'm having a lunch. They just called me in to have some lunch. Thank you for watching my show. Hope you understand me just a little bit better. Where I stand on issues of trolls and all the bullshit that goes on YouTube, they're all fucking guilty. None of them could afford to talk about me or anybody else. They're all cowards. They're all big mouths. They're all living a miserable life. Most of them, let's be fair about it, because I'm a fair man. Most of them. Most of them can't back up what they claim to be their lifestyle. And if they're spending that much time allowing me to live rent-free in their fucking head, tells you the whole story right there, doesn't it? That being said, I'm out of here, boys and girls. Enjoy. I have an upload coming up there. Might be a little redundant, but watch it.